Hebrews.
A lot of people
Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Sabbath class. The 3rd of January, 2026. Okay. We'll be dealing with for our topic for discussion is the 7 hidden beings in the Bible before Adam. We're gonna deal with that, tie into our understanding who the Lord of Hosts is and all that. Okay. You can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 videos you can look at, examine, get the meat out. These videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. And for those who want to support the channel, help it move along, we have our Cash App at the bottom of the screen. That too will be greatly appreciated. And for those that don't know, this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses by our Savior and our Redeemer and our deliverer, the Lord of Hosts. And the Torah consists of our laws, statutes, our judgments, and our culture, our way of life as Hebrews. Okay, this channel was created to aid and assist all Hebrews who are waking up to their true identity in these last days and understanding who their Savior and their Redeemer truly is, right? Shalom and welcome to the channel. Welcome to our Sabbath class, okay? We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, songs. We have some current events. We have some need-to-know information. We'll open it up for anybody with questions, any comments, dialogue, testimony, and then we'll go into our topic for discussion, which is I talked about it a little bit last night, but all of a sudden these Israelis is proclaimed a war, announced a war on Christians, specifically the Christians in Nigeria, right? And then today we got they ready to strike Nigeria, say these same Christians. So we're gonna tie that into current events that just previously happened. Also, I'll mention that in a minute. So our scripture reading, like I said, will be dealing with these 7 hidden beings that was before Adam. Okay, then we'll pick a scripture like we normally do. We'll read that scripture, break it down, talk about it, then we'll close out. Okay. This moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts, our Savior and our Redeemer, and all that He's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Oh Lord, we come before Thee at this time that You have set apart for the beginning of Your Sabbath. And we thank You for giving us rest. We are thankful for the knowledge and understanding that You have given us up until this point. We seek Thy face on this Sabbath, that You shower us with peace and enlightenment and a sense of togetherness. Oh Lord, we see Thy hand in the affairs of the world, and we know and understand that what You have spoken in the past, Your prophecies, will surely come to pass. Turn not Thy face from us this hour, but hearken unto us, hearken unto our plea, hearken and do, O Lord. Our praises unto You. Okay. I'll read a song right quick. Okay. I think this Psalm 37 is appropriate for what's going on right now. Okay. Psalm 37 is a true state of the wicked. It's a Psalm of David. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like grass, and they shall wither as green herb. Trust in the Lord, do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land. Verily thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself in the Lord, and He shall give thee the desires of thine heart. Commit thy way unto the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He shall bring it to pass. And He shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgments as the noonday. Rest in the Lord. Wait patiently for Him. And fret not thyself because of those who prosper in his way, because of the man who bringeth wicked devices to pass. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not thyself in any wise to do evil, for evildoers shall be cut off. But those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. But the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, gnasheth upon him with his teeth. The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming. The wicked have drawn out the sword, and have bent their bow, to cast down the poor and the needy, and to slay such as be of an upright conversation. The sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bow shall be broken. A little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arm of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth righteous. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil times, and in the days of famine they shall be satisfied. But the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume, into smoke shall they consume away. The wicked borroweth and, and payeth not again, but the righteous showeth mercy and giveth. For such as be blessed of him shall inherit the earth, and they that be cursed of him shall be cut off. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his way. Though he fall, he shall not be utterly cast down, for the Lord upholdeth him with his hand. I have been young, and I am old, and now I am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. He is ever merciful, and lendeth, and his seed is blessed. Depart from evil, and do good, and dwell forevermore. For the Lord loveth judgment, and he forsaketh not all his saints. They are preserved forever, but the seed of the wicked shall be cut off. The righteous shall inherit the land, and dwell therein forever. The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The law of his God is in his heart, none of his steps shall slide. The wicked watcheth the righteous, seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hands, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Lord, keep his way, and he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it. I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. And yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man, behold the upright, for the end of that man is peace, but the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off, but the salvation of the righteous is of the Lord. He is their strength in the time of trouble, and the Lord shall help them and deliver them, and he shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him. So that was Psalms 37. It's a true state of the wicked, and it's a Psalm of David. And like I said, in this psalm, it's encouraging because he constantly tell you to wait on him. It's all about him. He's gonna straighten it out. He's gonna fix it. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go to our current events. And I don't know if anybody know it or not, but all hell broke loose this morning. The Trump administration attacked Venezuela, and they captured the Venezuelan president. So let me get that right quick. Here we go. Okay. Okay.
Is in the midst of an unprecedented crisis as US airstrikes targeted the country overnight, prompting one of the most serious escalations in Latin America in decades. Venezuelan Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello addressed the nation on 3 January, urging citizens to remain calm while describing the attacks as criminal and terrorist in nature. According to Cabello, the strikes targeted not only military installations and infrastructure but also ordinary Venezuelan citizens, including those with no direct connection to the Bolivarian Revolution. He characterized the operation as an attack on Venezuela itself, on the patriotic ground of the nation, and on the Bolivarian Republic. Cabello called on Venezuelans to trust their leaders, both military and political, emphasizing the importance of remaining calm and avoiding panic, while warning against any action that might aid what he called the invading forces. He highlighted the resilience and organization of the Venezuelan people, saying that the population knows how to respond to such crises. Cabello also urged the international community to take notice of the attacks, questioning whether global organizations would expose what he described as collusion with the forces behind the strikes. He ended his address with a note of defiance, stating that Venezuela would ultimately overcome the attacks and reaffirming, "Long live the homeland." Meanwhile, from the US, President Donald Trump confirmed that the operation was carried out in conjunction with US law enforcement, promising more details at a press conference from his Mar-a-Lago resort. Reuters reported, citing US officials, that Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro was captured by elite special forces during the strike. This marks one of the most direct interventions by the United States in the region since the 1989 invasion of Panama, which had aimed to remove military leader Manuel Noriega from power. As Caracas experiences explosions, smoke rising from key military installations, and heightened air and ground activity, both domestic and international attention is fixed on Venezuela. The situation has sparked urgent calls for calm within the country, while outside observers warn of potential geopolitical consequences. Regional governments, particularly Colombia.
Okay, any comments on that?
Shalom, everyone. So I guess Russia is going to start putting its head up now.
Shabbat shalom, Brother Leonard. Shalom, everyone. He, sir.
You got it. Amen.
Okay, I was going to say they couldn't wait to get into 2026 good to start this off, right? So we can get ready for a whole lot more. Today is just the third into their new year. So we can expect a whole lot more to come down the pike this month. It's going to be scene after scene. So this is just the beginning of a lot of things to come.
Exactly. This month. Yeah.
Yes, sir. This month alone. Yes, sir.
Right.
Exactly. And Brother Leonard, didn't he just meet with him here the other day?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's evil intentions is slowly coming out now because of like what they did on what I'm gonna show today through the process of this class is how we see now. We know Israel is a whore, the one that's over there. Those Israelis, they the ones that Lord of Hosts is talking about. The wicked woman that's in the last days. Then we got Israel, right? That's the beast. I mean, America. And then we got these Christian nationalists. They all coordinating. They coordinating it. And right now, is they move. They making a move.
Right. It's their year. This is their year to really come on the scene. So, Brother Leonard, I know he's supposed to be giving a live press conference around this time. So I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on it. But so far, he has not showed up yet and said anything. It was supposed to be live 10 a.m. Central Time. So we're going to see. I had saw on YouTube where he was saying that he was going to be featuring his mugshot. So I'm just going to see, kind of follow and see what happens, and maybe this evening talk about it a little bit more. But as of right now, Trump has not showed up for the press conference.
All right. And we see, like I said before, I posted it a long time ago, and I talked about it how if you go to YouTube, you can Google it. I mean, you can bring it up on YouTube, Puppet Masters, and I'm always talking about how these the presidents they're puppets, like Donald Trump. When you see the complexity of what's really going on, he ain't built for it. He's a puppet. It's a higher hand. It's a wicked and a higher hand that's got them doing this. And then the same thing that played out with Bush. We see the same thing playing out now with this guy, Venezuela. It's a higher hand. It's using them. Like I say, if you observe their countenance and they demeanor, they don't have a mentality for what's going on.
Right.
So it's a higher force, and it's a wicked, and it's an ancient. Okay. Anybody else?
Brother Leonard, one more question right quick. You know, the other day we was talking about him pulling the National Guard out of the cities, right? And he was saying because he thinks that, you know, crime has went down a lot. Do you think that this right here was part of that move?
Oh yeah. That I was going to mention that. I don't know if anybody caught it, but I thought it was strange. It's going to come back too. But he said on this video y'all was just playing, he said the United States has invaded Venezuela. They got what's called, they say law enforcement. Law enforcement got this guy got him. You know what I'm saying? Not the military. They said law enforcement got it.
Wow.
Okay. And anyway, so not only that, remember they just passed $1 trillion bill for the law enforcement.
Law enforcement, yeah.
Okay. So here you go, law enforcement dealing with a global event. And like I said, me looking at that, it sounds like Pastor Manning right up down all the way down the pike. It sounds like the Kenyatta plan. Come on. Is there something?
Yes, sir.
So here we go. Anybody anything?
Shalom, everyone.
Okay.
I'm interested in, like Sister Michelle said, to see what the United States administration says, and also to understand why exactly his wife, who's never been indicted, was picked up. I remember some time ago that the president of Venezuela had tried to make a deal where he said something about letting the U.S. do whatever they want as long as you keep me and my family safe. And the U.S. and then he listed some other people that were not necessarily family, and the U.S. basically denied the deal, saying we'll keep you and your wife and children safe, but we're not trying to protect anybody in your administration just because you want us to. And I'm interested in, I know they're not going to come out and say it today, anytime soon even, but just interested in what type of deal was made with the president, that his wife got picked up and has never been indicted for anything.
Okay. Yeah. I think this might answer it right here.
Why is the United States actively preparing for war in the Southern Caribbean? To answer that, we have to look at the massive reactivation of Cold War infrastructure that has been dormant for decades. What is happening at the Roosevelt Roads Naval Station in Puerto Rico? Once the largest U.S. naval base in the world, this facility was closed in 2004. But reports indicate it is being rapidly brought back online. The U.S. military is turning the civilian zone back into a forward operating base. And what about the Henry E. Rolson Airport? Located in the U.S. Virgin Islands, this isn't just for tourists anymore. It is being transformed into a logistics hub to support heavy military transport. But why is the U.S. doing this right now? There are two main triggers. Is it because of Russia and China? Yes. Intelligence suggests that Moscow and Beijing are not just visiting Venezuela, they are attempting to set up permanent military bases.
Exactly.
The US sees this as an existential threat, a violation of the Monroe Doctrine that they cannot ignore. Is it about the oil? Absolutely. We are already seeing the precursor to war.
Excuse me, what is the most amount of money you made?
I've done Coast Guard helicopters have been spotted intercepting and seizing oil tankers leaving Venezuelan waters. They are choking off the regime's cash flow before the real shooting starts. If an attack happens, what ships are already in position near Puerto Rico? The U.S. Navy has assembled a specific kill chain. They're using the USS Jason Dunham Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. Its role isn't just guided missile destroyer, it is also an electronic warfare machine. The Jason Dunham is there to jam Venezuelan communications and blind their coastal radars. They are the first line of attack to confuse the enemy. And why is the U.S. Stockdale there? The Stockdale is the shield. Equipped with advanced Aegis missile defense systems, its job is to shoot down any anti-ship missiles Venezuela fires back at the fleet. But how do we know this is an invasion and not just a blockade? Because of the USS Iwo Jima. It is a massive amphibious assault ship. You don't bring the ship unless you plan to put boots on the ground. It is designed to launch waves of Marines onto a hostile beach. But the US isn't just attacking from the north. They are using the island nation of Trinidad and Tobago to close the back door. But how are they using Trinidad? The US Navy is using these waters to blockade the Gulf of Paria. Here is USS Gravely, it is Hunter. The Gravely acts as a sentinel, ensuring no Venezuelan submarines or fast boats can escape into the Atlantic to threaten shipping lanes. And what is the US Lake Erie doing? This Ticonderoga-class cruiser is the boss. It serves as the air defense commander for the entire operation, coordinating the movements of every ship and plane from its high-tech command center. But ships are slow, so how will the US deliver the first strike? This is where the air power comes in. The B-52 Stratofortress.
So notice this is the first strike. This is what this is all about. What we talked about yesterday with the other day with the what Israel just done. All of a sudden they had been building it. Now it went live. The little nuclear place they have over in Somaliland. So they making the first strike, and then first strike. So that's what all this about. And like I said, when war breaks out, they need all kind of fuel, petroleum. Venezuela got it, and they made the move because that's the same thing China and Russia was doing. They was bringing Venezuela under the fold for the oil, what they're gonna need for this war that they know gonna happen. So the Americans jumped out and got ahead of the game. And they attacked Venezuela, call themselves taking control of it, and then they already got Israel. They little friend, little buddy in the pocket. They already got them over. Then built this nuclear place over in Somaliland because the AES is already they with the BRICS countries. So they making all these they positioning themselves for what they know is inevitable. They know China gonna attack Taiwan. They know all that.
Fortresses won't even land in the Caribbean. They will fly straight from the continental United States, deliver their massive payload of cruise missiles, and return home without ever touching the ground. What about the B-1 Lancer? These supersonic bombers will be used for fast attacks. They can swoop in at low altitude and high speed to destroy hardened targets before the enemy knows they are there. The destroyer is equipped to carry around 90 missiles with this vertical launching system. A Mark 45.
So, all this stuff already in place. They went to the Caribbean, 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago. They've been there now. 2026 here. Like I said, AU gonna become one block in February. So this is what all this about. It's hammer time. And like I said, in the process of this class, I'm going to show you how these Christian nationalists, Israel, how they all coordinated all together. It's all working All has been prophesied. I mean, been planned. Okay? And feedback on that. Okay, so here we go. This is another part of that. Reason why what we're seeing is not a coincidence. It happened on Christmas Day, and this happened right here. So check this out.
In just 2 days,
they've been saying forever America broke. So they had to do this. Okay, so let me use this. I'm thinking that some people, a lot of people probably didn't connect the dots to this, but check this out.
Something historic is unfolding in Ghana, and many people don't yet realize how big this moment truly is. After years of economic pressure, rising debt, and national sacrifice, Ghana...
I've been showing you how many blacks are leaving here, African Americans, they're abandoning this place. And then this
is preparing to exit the IMF program, not in weakness, but with dignity. And in his New Year message, President John Dramani Mahama lays out what this
is the whole reason they've been holding Africa hostage is money. And now they just rejected the IMF. They don't need their money. So this is why you see what just happened today.
Reset truly means for the future of the nation. Listen closely, because what you're about to hear is not just a speech. It is a declaration of renewal, discipline, and a bold new direction for Ghana.
Citizens, as we stand at the threshold of a new year, I come before you with a heart full of gratitude and renewed determination. Tonight, as families gather across our beloved nation, from the shores of Keita to the savannah plains of Bolgatanga, from the forests of the Western region to the vibrant streets of Kumasi and Accra, I extend my warmest wishes to every Ghanaian, wherever you may be. A happy new year to all my fellow citizens. Exactly 6 days from now, we shall mark the first anniversary of the sacred oath I took before God and country. It was a solemn commitment to reset Ghana and build together the nation we all deserve. I can confirm that the promise of renewal we made was not mere rhetoric. It was a covenant, and we have begun to deliver on that covenant. 1 year ago, we inherited a nation in distress, an economy on its knees, unemployment crashing our youth, infrastructure crumbling, public trust eroded, and hope dimming in the eyes of our people. We're told that the recovery would take a generation, but I knew something our critics did not know. I knew the resilient spirit of the Ghanaian people. At the dawn of the new year, I stand before you to say, our beloved nation, Ghana, is rising again. We've accomplished a lot together in the past 12 months through prudent management and difficult but necessary reforms. We've reduced inflation from the distressing levels above 23% by the end of 2024, and are hopeful to end 2025 with inflation at single digits of just above 5%. We have achieved relative currency stability and on track to be ranked among the best performing currencies in the world for 2025. We're accelerating economic growth and creating more opportunities for our young people. We've restored business confidence and have seen a significant increase in both domestic and foreign direct investment. We restored Ghana's credibility with our international partners, successfully completed the renegotiation of our debt obligations on terms that protect our sovereignty while at the same time ensuring sustainability. We're beginning the process of exiting the IMF program with dignity, not as supplicants, but as partners. Our young people are Ghana's greatest assets. We're beginning to see significant growth in sectoral performance.
So notice what he just said. They're getting ready to exit the IMF. They don't need it. So that means if Ghana getting ready to exit, all these African countries finna exit IMF. They don't need it. They tied to bricks now. They don't need them. So this is what this all about. They see what's happening to them. It's that point. And not only it's the first of the month. Like I said, what's happening next month is the AU going to come online. The Africans, all those 54 African countries, going to be one. And then not only that, the petrodollar come to an end January 1st. Saudi Arabia joined BRICS, and they said that anybody with any currency can trade for oil with them. No more petrodollar. Dollar is not the number one standard no more. That's what all this about. Okay, so anybody in the comments so far? Feedback.
Shalom, everyone. Brother Leonard, I was watching a video, some news in Chad, in the middle of the Sahel or Sahara, however you want to say it. And it was making me think along the lines of the clip that you just played with Ghana leaving IMF, which is internationally a fund for money, basically. How Chad, in the middle of the desert, is beginning to build all these things. And you talk about it quite often and play clips about African countries that are just continuing to grow in the middle of all these other countries going in debt and beginning to decline. So that was interesting to me because I had just watched a report maybe 2 days ago about Chad having all this infrastructure that's being built digitally and everything. And they mentioned how they were doing it on their own from resources they had. They were making deals with other countries and they weren't depending on international banks of any type.
Exactly. Right. And that's happening all over Africa. They see it. I mean, it's prophecy, Isaiah chapter 60. I read it all the time. The first 6 verses. Let me read it right now. Matter of fact. So it says Isaiah chapter 60. I mean, and it rings out. When you understand where we at, when it comes to what the Lord of hosts is doing and what's going on in heaven. So it says, Isaiah 60, arise and shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the whole earth, gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles, right, shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see all that gather themselves together, they shall come to thee. Thy sons shall come from afar. We looking at that. Like I said, they leaving here like flies. Thy sons shall come from afar, and thy daughters shall be nursed upon thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged. Because the abundance of the sea shall be gathered unto thee, the forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. And that's what we're looking at. It's transpiring right now. And these people are panicking. They think that they can contain it, but they can't. It's above their pay grade. Okay. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay. Here go with this my need to know information. Like I said, I'm tying these Christian nationalists, fake Israel, and U.S. all together. They it's their last ditch effort to try to divert the Lord of Hosts prophecies, right? Which we know is not going to happen. Let's check this out.
Is getting the benefit from our dollars and building economic wealth for their communities at our expense. Those days are over. Yeah, we are taking that $1.5 trillion.
So if any of y'all have never.
So we know on the other side of the ocean, for the last 2,500 years or so, they've been using all this propaganda to keep us from the true knowledge of our connection to them and their connection to us. All this has been going on, and now they see what's happening in the Sahel. Nobody want to deal with them, and also what the African Americans doing. Nobody wants to deal with them. That's what we're looking at. This is the plan they got to try to divert it right here.
Notice industries like hotels, motels, corner stores, and tire shops are owned mostly and ran mostly by Arabs. But the thing that I notice every time I go into each of these establishments, they always have older black men in these subservient roles running around like chickens with their head cut off, serving their business and serving them. And every time I would see this, it would never sit well in my spirit. I would tell myself, damn, this giving me slave vibes right here. But in actuality, that's what it is. It's way deeper than surface level.
Exactly.
So then you got to ask yourself, how is it that one group of people who are not from this country can come here and gain more resources and more assets than the people who are the descendants of the slaves that built this country on their backs? You got to make that make sense. I'm honestly starting to think that we're going to become a permanent underclass if we aren't one already. Because how is it that we are the majority in most of our cities, but we own nothing in the cities that we live in?
We have something cool here. What you're looking at is
we have to. It is important. We gotta start practicing group economics. This is the only way we're gonna ever catch up or ever have any power or resources in this country. We gotta stop letting white mommy and white daddy doing all the lifting, and we gotta stop letting Arab people make all the money while we sit back and play all day. We gotta start mass promoting to black people that the only way that you can amass wealth in this country is by producing sweat, by means of running up and down the field, running up and down the court, or running around the stage. And while we doing that, running around producing sweat, every other culture is making money off of us. We got to start owning things, as simple as that. I don't care what none of these fake entrepreneurship gurus that told you this, and I feel like they low-key been put into the black community to keep us from acquiring ownership, telling us to own nothing and control everything. No, we need to own things in this country, because when you don't own anything, you don't control anything. If we come together and do for self and practice group economics, we can actually have wealth and power in this country, and we will no longer be the tail and we will become the head.
A lot of these y'all. So black folks have made a collective decision to move their dollars to black-owned businesses in 2026.
It's the drama
and
right
MAGA
here.
is absolutely losing their minds. They're calling it racist. They're calling it segregation. They're saying it's anti-white. And I'm sitting here like, wait a minute. Every other race practices group economics. Asians support Asian businesses. Latinos support Latino businesses. Jewish communities support Jewish businesses. White folks support white businesses. But the moment black people say we're going to circulate our $1.8 trillion within our own community, suddenly it's a problem. Suddenly it's divisive. The hypocrisy is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Let's get into it. What's good, family? Welcome back to the Chronicles of Blacks, where we serve facts with a side of Buy Black and a tall glass of economic empowerment. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because we're building a community that prioritizes Black wealth and Black liberation. And if you've been rocking with us, show some love with that like button. Now let's break down why Black folks are committing to group economics, why MAGA is so pressed about it, and what this means for our future. Here are the facts. Black Americans have a collective spending power of approximately $1.8 trillion annually. That's trillion with a T. But here's the problem. That dollar only circulates in the Black community for about 6 hours before it leaves and goes into other communities. Compare that to Asian communities, where the dollar circulates for about 28 days. Jewish communities, where it circulates for about 20 days. And white communities, where it circulates for about 17 days. Black folks are the biggest consumers in America, but we see the least return on our spending. We're making everyone else rich while our own communities remain economically depressed. And now, Black folks are saying enough. We're committing to buying Black, supporting Black-owned businesses, and keeping our dollars in our community. And the response from MAGA? Absolute fury. Let me set up what we're seeing in real time.
Arabs be setting up in the African American communities, y'all, and they be scamming our people, especially our elderly people who don't know no better, who don't have transportation, who have to walk to these stores. These people literally be changing their prices, y'all, like it ain't nothing. It's literally tripled in some cases. Now, I shop at a chicken mart here in the city of New Orleans, and more recently, I started seeing different price changes, stuff that I have been getting for a while, and I know the economy is going up, but like one day I'll go in there and it'll be one price. The next day I'll go in there and it'll be another price, and it'll fluctuate. So I just can't imagine the elderly people that's going to these Arab stores, these gas stations, these chicken marts, whatever type of establishment they have set up in the impoverished communities. They price gouging big time, and I feel like the government, somebody needs to look into it, because the price gouging is getting unmatched. Now I get it. It's their store. They can do what they want. People should put themselves in better positions to not have to shop in those stores. But they do have deals. Like fucking case of chicken, probably like $40. You know what I'm saying? So they have deals on certain stuff. But if you are going and you are you have elderly family members that go, I'm telling y'all, these people are so bad with this price gouging.
Hours. That's 6 hours, y'all. That means by the time you're going to get your morning coffee to dinner, your dollar has already disappeared into someone else's hands. Now let's compare that to other groups, like in Latino communities. The dollar will circulate about 6 days. In Jewish communities, it lasts about 20 days. And then in Asian communities, the dollar can last up to a month, 28 days before it leaves. So you see the difference? That's the gap between wealth and staying broke. So why does this happen? Because most of the businesses in our neighborhoods aren't owned by us. We spend, but we don't see it come back in the form of jobs or ownership or investment. So when other groups spend, they're buying from each other, right? They're paying each other. They're building each other up. This doesn't happen by accident, y'all. It's the legacy of segregation, redlining, and deliberate policies that kept us from owning land and banks and major businesses. But the truth is, they couldn't stop our spending power. We still got 1.7 trillion every year. The problem is we just don't keep it. Imagine if we did. Imagine if instead of 6 hours, we circulated our money for a week. That would mean that more Black businesses will be hiring more Black workers, more Black homeowners, more Black wealth passed down to next generation. So family, we don't lack money. We lack circulation. And the minute that we change that, we change the game.
Michael
Prevented us from building.
I mean, AI can now build a website in 90
kept us out of home ownership. Discriminatory lending kept us out of business ownership. And even today, Black-owned businesses struggle to get loans, struggle to get investors, struggle to compete in a system designed to keep us out. So, when we commit to buying Black, we're not just supporting businesses. We're building an economic infrastructure that can sustain our community for generations. I talked to a Black business owner who runs a grocery store in a predominantly Black neighborhood. He told me, for years, I watched my community spend money at chains owned by people who don't live here, who don't care about us, who take the profits and leave. When I opened my store, I committed to hiring locally, sourcing from Black farmers, and reinvesting profits back into the community. And now, with this Buy Black movement, business is booming. People are finally realizing that when we support each other, we all win. That's the power of group economics. That's what MAGA is afraid of. Because when Black folks start building wealth, when we start owning businesses, when we start controlling resources, we gain power. And
right. So what we're looking at, this really ain't nothing new. This why they was covering all these Black cities up with those dams. How they ran all these those highways through our Black communities and destroyed them to keep us from ever getting where we at getting now. And now that we there, they see that we don't want to deal with them no more, and we actually leaving here and all that. This they end the doom. They doom. This why we see what's happening now. They doom is here. This their response to it, which is all they know. They warmongers. Okay. Any feedback on that? Okay. Anybody have any comments? I'll open it up for some
Shalom.
Q&A.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Shalom. Yes, sir. They put that narrative that people, root of it is crabs in a bucket. So once they did that, and against blacks, seeing other blacks get a little higher, so they start that diversity of treating one black owner one way and then another way, so they can compete against each other and say, well, I'll just go to Target, or I'll just go to Walmart, or I'll just go somewhere else, because they may feel that the black owned business is charging too much. But the thing about it, you would hand money over to another company, Iranian or whoever, and neglect to pay the person that you know needs your help to keep their business going. And I think that's a mind thing that they put out there for people that won't support each other because of that crabs in a bucket label that they placed on, that they put in the system. That's one of the things that's holding companies, black-owned companies, back by, targeting them in that particular way to get people not to support their own. I mean, that's just something that came to me. Anyone feel the same?
Okay, anybody else got any feedback on that? Yeah. So they created like I said before, they created the crab in the bucket scenario because they limited our resources. So the little resources we have it brings about contention. Same when you go in the streets in the mob with the drugs. They force us to that, and then when we even get involved in it, it's limited. So that's where the killing and all that comes in. So yeah, they create that scenario. Like I said, it's an old ancient scenario where, I call it the halogen dialectic, where they want something, they want to bring the population to a certain point, so they impose these certain things on them to force them to ask for it. And then when they ask for it, that's what they wanted the whole time. So yeah. Okay, so nobody else have anything on that? Let me play this. This is some news. Local and global news. I'll just play this right quick.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani has been sworn in as the mayor of New York City. He's made history as New York's first Muslim, first South Asian, first African-born mayor, and at the age of 34, the city's youngest mayor in generations. At midnight on January 1st, New York Attorney General Letitia James swore in Mamdani in a private ceremony in a decommissioned subway station below City Hall. Mamdani took the oath, placing his hand on two Qurans held by his wife, Syrian-American artist Rama Douaji. On Thursday afternoon, Senator Bernie Sanders swore in Mamdani again in a large public ceremony outside City Hall in below freezing weather. During his inaugural address, Mamdani repeated his campaign vow to make the city more affordable.
We will answer to all New Yorkers, not to any billionaire or oligarch who thinks they can buy our democracy. We will govern without shame and insecurity, making no apology for what we believe. I was elected as a democratic socialist, and I will govern as a democratic socialist.
After the inauguration, Mayor Mamdani traveled to a Brooklyn housing complex where he signed 3 executive orders designed to tackle the city's housing crisis.
In doing so, we will protect tenants already long neglected from further neglect, and we will mitigate the significant risk of displacement they currently face. For too long, bad landlords have been allowed to mistreat their tenants with impunity. That ends today.
Mamdani also revoked all executive orders signed by former Mayor Eric Adams that were issued after Adams was indicted on federal bribery charges September 26, 2024.
Okay. Feedback on that? Yeah, so now they got a supposedly Arab in Washington, D.C., I mean, in New York City as the mayor. So the mayor don't like that either. Notice what he said. He's 100% Democratic, and that's how he's going to govern. So that's going to be a problem too. But on the backtrack to my need to know, my questions and comments. Anybody have any questions? Any comments, any dialogue, testimonies? Anything they want to shine a light on? Okay, so with that being said, I'll deal with this topic for discussion. I mentioned this the other day, and I'm make sure I shine a light on it. So for people that's trying to connect these dots. So here we go. Like I said, all this happening simultaneously. Like I said, these people they at war, as far as they're concerned. Check it out. These are Edomites over there in Israel.
What's up, family? Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has announced a new front to protect Christians in the Middle East and Africa. Specifically,
like I said, go back and remember what they done when they attacked Saddam Hussein. They placed a label on him first, said that he had weapons of mass destruction. This state rhetoric now. They protecting Negro Nigerian Christians, right? Okay, this they prerequisite to do everything they get what they're doing.
Nigeria. Check them out.
I see the battle against us and the battle against our Judeo-Christian tradition basically being waged around the globe. And it's waged primarily by two forces, radical Shiite Islam and radical Sunni Islam. That means the axis that is led by Iran, much battered, admittedly.
So remember, you got to keep in mind you got Israelites now. You got the nation of Israel, they woke up. They ain't deal with no Christians. So they gonna come in crosshairs. It's the whole purpose of it.
But still there. And the axis, the Sunni axis, led by the Muslim Brotherhood, which permeates everything. They go to Europe, they go to the United States, they go to Africa, Nigeria. And we are conscious of the fact that Christians are being persecuted across the Middle East, in Syria, in Lebanon, in Nigeria, in Turkey, and beyond. And also aware of the fact, as you are, that one country protects the Christian community, enables it to grow, defends it, and makes sure that it thrives. And that country is Israel. There is no other. We are joining an effort to have basically a United Nations of countries that support Christian communities around the world.
Christian wall.
Beleaguered communities
Crusades.
deserve our help. Just as you are helping us, we want to help back. And we're capable of doing that. In Africa with Intel, in the Middle East with...
to show you the setup, ICE, it's all tied to this mega movement. ICE, like I said, they came out with $1 trillion they funded them with. And notice what he just said. His law enforcement went into Venezuela and got the president. So that's what they got the oil. They trying to get this all this oil that Venezuela's got. They got $1 trillion already allocated out for the war machine. It's obvious what they're doing. Okay, so I played that yesterday, and I was reminding you of it today. And so this one came out today, this morning. Check this out.
The persecution of Christians or members of any religion cannot and must not be tolerated.
and Muslim militant displacement and attacks against Christians in Nigeria, that too must end. And it must end now.
You know, I remember somebody saying a long time ago that if there's no evil inside, the evil outside can do us no harm. So for the evil outside to do us harm, we must have evil inside. Basically, if two brothers or two friends have no problem with each other, it doesn't matter what you say to one of them about the other. You say, nah, I don't believe you. Nah, it's okay, whatever. It's because they have no problem. But if they have an internal problem, you go to one of them and say, listen, I heard him speak negative about you. Oh, really? Well, no, it's been a couple of days. We haven't spoken to each other. Yeah, maybe he's thinking that way. So you must fix the evil inside for you to stop pointing fingers at the evil outside. Or else the evil outside will use whatever issue you have internally for them to control you.
Exactly.
Don't look, Moringa. Seriously, just skip this. You won't pass it.
Yeah, Israel has made a speech. During his speech, he was talking to Christian Zionists. Have you heard of Christian Zionists? So what he basically said was interesting. He said they're willing to bring peace all over the world, and including Nigeria. So the persecution of Christians in Nigeria is unacceptable. And Israel will bring whatever they have to bring peace. They're going to batter you if necessary. They're going to bombard you if they need. Of course, they're going to bring intelligence and many other things. Let's hear what he has to say.
I see the battle against us and the battle against our Judeo-Christian tradition basically being waged around the globe.
Okay. The battle against the Judeo-Christian tradition is being fought around the world. So there's a battle against Judeo, which is Jewish, and Christian ideology. Now, is Netanyahu Christian? No, he's not. He's Jewish. Is he being confronted with issues, or are the Jewish people being confronted with issues? Absolutely, in many places. Are the Christians being confronted with issues? Yes, they are being confronted. But are they supposed to be working together necessarily? Question mark. But what he's done is very interesting. He's brought the Judeo-Christian ideology, not a Judeo ideology, because if he says Judeo ideology, he's talking about him and his own people. Now, when he adds Christian, and Judeo is associating the Jewish community and the Christian community across the world. Now it becomes a bigger problem. It's not just a problem of people that hate Jewish people. It's also people that hate Christians. Now he wants to wage a battle against the people that are fighting the Jewish. Now he has added the Christian because are you Jewish? You're most likely not if you're from Africa. Most likely not. Are you Christian? There's a very greater possibility you are Christian. Now, if you hear somebody's waging a battle against Jewish, you probably won't get very much interested.
Okay, so they set the narrative, they set the stage. Like you said, it's all about results. That's where we at. So that's Netanyahu set the stage to. You should be expecting some more violence real soon. But check this out. The U.S. tagged it up with Burkina Faso. Listen to this. Check it out.
A stunning development that has sent shockwaves through diplomatic circles across Africa and beyond.
Across Africa.
U.S. President Donald Trump has once again sent delegates to Burkina Faso.
Check it out.
This time led by U.S. Congressman Austin Scott in a desperate bid to secure what Washington is now calling a win-win partnership. But here's the twist. This isn't the first, second, or even third attempt.
Check it out.
This marks the fourth time this year the Trump administration has come knocking on Burkina Faso's door. And each time they've been met with silence from the one man they came to see, Captain Ibrahim Traore.
So they're saying that they didn't gave him opportunity after opportunity. They've been busy and he ain't dealt with it. So what you think can come?
Leader at the center of Africa's new era of sovereignty.
It up.
Why is Washington so desperate? Why is Burkina Faso refusing to bend? And what does this mean for Africa's rising power on the global stage? Tonight, we break it all down Friday morning. Ouagadougou's Thomas Sankara International Airport buzzed with unusual activity. A US government jet, sleek and imposing, touched down under heavy security. Out stepped Congressman Austin Scott, flanked by senior advisors and diplomatic staff.
Christian
Their
nationalists.
mission crystal clear: convince Burkina Faso to accept Washington's offer of partnership. But behind the smiles and handshakes lay a story of failed diplomacy and growing desperation. This visit marked the third, possibly fourth time in just 12 months that Washington had dispatched envoys to plead for cooperation. Previous delegations, sometimes more than 6 officials at a time, had all returned empty-handed. And this time, the pattern seemed set to repeat itself. Captain Ibrahim Traore, the man Washington came to woo, once again declined to meet them. No photo ops, no warm receptions, no hurried press conferences announcing new deals. Instead, the US delegation met with Burkina Faso's foreign ministry officials. A diplomat.
Okay.
This small gadget could make language classes obsolete. My wife gave
engagement Washington had hoped for. For the fourth time, Traore's silence thundered louder than any words could. Observers say this is no accident. Traore, known for his blunt style and refusal to bow to external pressure, is sending a clear message. Burkina Faso will not be bullied or bribed into surrendering its sovereignty. But here's where the story takes an even stranger twist. Standing before reporters, Congressman Austin Scott heaped praise on Burkina Faso's achievements under Traore's leadership. He spoke of the nation's rapid gains in security and agriculture, saying, and we quote, "I have never seen anything like this before in Africa." High praise indeed, especially coming from Washington. After all, it was only months ago that US military commander General Michael Langley accused Traore of using Burkina Faso's gold and natural resources to enrich his regime. Back then, Washington painted Traore as a power-hungry strongman. Today, they celebrate his success. Why the sudden change of tone? Analysts say it's simple. The US needs a deal badly. Earlier this year, Donald Trump himself tried to strike a grand bargain with the Sahel nations, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger. His offer? American military assistance to fight terrorism across the region, in exchange for full access to the region's vast natural resources, gold, uranium, lithium, and more. It was a bold proposal, but it failed miserably. None of the Sahel leaders accepted the deal. Not Traore, not Mali's Assimi Goïta, not Niger's Abdurrahmane Tiani. The message to Washington was unmistakable. Africa is no longer for sale. And so Washington returned, this time with softer language. No longer was it about control. Now they called it a win-win partnership. A deal framed as mutual respect, cooperation, and shared benefits. But observers note, beneath the friendly branding, the core of the proposal remains the same: access to Africa's critical minerals, strategic footholds in a region where both Russia and China have already made inroads. A last-ditch effort to regain influence in a continent slipping from Western dominance. Why?
Okay, any feedback on that? What do you think? Okay, so with that being
Shalom.
said, okay.
Brother Leonard, I have not heard about all these visits to Burkina Faso. I do wonder what each time the U.S. was offering. I only know of one time, and I don't know which time this was, the first or the fourth, that the U.S. had specifically went to Burkina Faso, the same reason it went to so many other countries earlier in Donald Trump's presidency this term, was to say, will you take our deportees and our nationals? So I do know that Burkina Faso was in the list of nations and countries that were asked to take deportees and actual people that lived in the United States as citizens. And they blatantly said no, because that doesn't even make any sense. So I'm just wondering, what all has Burkina Faso turned down whenever they spoke to someone, even though it was not Ibrahim Traoré?
But like they turn down everything because he understands. If you go back to Burkina Faso's history, Sakara, they killed him. To me, I think he was more intelligent than Tory. But he killed. So what they do, they bring a big envoy in there, but they're actually doing like Joseph was saying with his brothers. You came here like you to get food, like you getting food, but you're spying the land out. That's what they bringing in there. They bringing in these, like I was saying before, these high tech guys under the guys that they part of the entourage that's coming to see him, but they actually surveilling the whole situation because their objective is to kill him. So he don't want to deal with them no kind of way. Anything they come up with, he rejected. They tried to give him the Nobel Peace Prize. He rejected that because all they want to do is get you. They want to come into your space, and then they want to case everything out. Next thing you know, the country dead. The man dead in the country and upheaval. They did the same thing with Gaddafi. That's how they operate. So he understands that. Okay. So from a military perspective, you know what I'm saying. But anybody else got anything else before I go to my scripture reading?
Yes, sir. So when Ibrahim Traoré asked President Trump about having a military base in the U.S., he slammed it down and made all kinds of comments about it. So how would he think U.S. thinking that they can come in and do anything when they won't allow them to have a military base here? So that part, in negotiation should be never on the table, because how they rudely said that, and he said it in his first term, how Africa is so undeveloped and so ignorant, and he named so many things about Africa, but now he wants to come in and do things, send his spies, his worms in there, and then he has what we would say boulets and other countries in Africa trying to, go in and work on their behalf, but trying to show that they're with him. And I think the last place that they did the drone in strike, they're a part of that situation as a boule undercover, trying to get involved with the U.S. for protection, but it's not going to work.
Exactly right. But the whole objective is to cut off. The objective is to cut off that alliance, AES, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso. They want to destroy that. They already tried they tried all kind of ways and it ain't working because they have aligned themselves with the BRICS nations, which that was never there before. And they came in and they just did the people any kind of way, killed the president and send the country in chaos. So and they can't do that now. That's what the drama is. They just trying to find a way, find a weakness to come in and do it, and they're not allowing them to do it. That's where drama coming in. So it's going to come to a point where they're going to show their true colors, which is they're just going to attack them, and the whole world going to see who they are, like he just done in Venezuela. The whole world see who they are. He ain't use no diplomacy, no nothing. This is who they are. Okay. Because they whole system is collapsing and they trying to find some kind of way to cut it off and revive it, but they have to show their true colors. That's what's happening. So with that being said, we're gonna go to our reading through the scriptures. It's about these 7 beings that's been hidden in the Bible before Adam. And when I saw that title, you know, it hit me like a brick, because we know the seven beings that was there before Adam, and they was these seven angels that Enoch has informed us the Creator created in the very beginning. And you know, Michael being the first angel. But let's deal with that right quick. It has some good information in it. So let's deal with it.
7 archangels are considered powerful servants of God who play crucial roles both in the heavenly realms and in human affairs. Their tasks range from delivering God's messages to offering protection and guidance to people. So, who are these archangels? They're Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and a few others who might not be as well known but are just as important. Each one of them has a special job. For example, Michael is often seen as a protector, the one who stands up against evil. Gabriel is the messenger, the one who brought news to Mary about the birth of Jesus. We're going to take a closer look at each range from delivering.
I want to play that again. Check this could help somebody out as far as rightly dividing this and wrapping around their mind. Check it out.
God's messages to offering protection and guidance to people. So, who are these archangels? They're Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and a few others who might not be as well known but are just as important. Each one of them has a special job.
Each one of them have a special job.
For example, Michael is often seen as a protector, the one who stands up.
Protector. He's a protector, right? Let that affirmate.
Against evil. Gabriel is the messenger.
So Gabriel, messenger. Michael is a protector. Let that affirmate.
The one who brought news to Mary about the birth of Jesus. We're going to take a closer look at each of these seven.
Matter of fact, we're gonna deal with it. So this is what I'm talking about. How we got brainwashed right here because they didn't took these characteristics and put them over in the New Testament using typology. Right? So let's keep, we're gonna incorporate.
We'll explore what the Bible and other Christian texts say about them, what their roles are, and why they matter.
Christian texts, that's where the typology came in.
To us today. Number 1, Archangel Michael. Often considered the leader of the archangels. Michael,
leader of the archangels. Okay? He's the leader of the archangels, but soon as JC come on the scene now, JC over him. He's an angelic being, but JC came about on earth through a human woman. But now he all of a sudden he's over this being right here.
Is known as a protector and the one who battles evil. Most angels in the Bible are depicted as messengers. Imagine being able to build an app with your.
This is the point I want to shine light on. Let me get right here. Should help somebody. Check it out. Okay, here you go.
Known as a protector and the one who battles evil.
Michael.
Most angels in the Bible are depicted as messengers. But Michael is described as contending, fighting, or standing against evil spirits and principalities. He is the protector of swordsmen and masters of arms. His skills as a judge of souls have also made him the patron of all trades that involve the use of assessments, such as traders, pharmacists, pastry chefs. He is also the patron saint of the police. Michael is known as the leader of God's army, guiding the angels in their fight against darkness. He shows how good battles evil. He's also seen as the angel of death, guiding Christians to heaven after they die. He gives them a chance to be saved.
Guiding Christians to heaven. Let that from me. That's the insult. All of a sudden now, it's about Christians.
Saved and stops the devil from taking them. In pictures, he's often shown with scales, showing how he judges souls during the Last Judgment. This shows his role in deciding people's fate. Saint Michael also protects the church and the chosen people. Knights in many cities see him as their patron saint because of his role in battles and his protection. He is the most called upon archangel of all time. He is often depicted with a sword and shield, armor or banner signifying war and strength. The sword and shield are used today to represent a cutting of cords or energies that no longer serve and protect us from harm. Michael can help in healing and repairing our energies where trauma, grief, past lives, or karmic debts are holding up.
I want to shine light on this right quick. It dawned on me. So we go back to when the 200 angels came down, right? And Azazel taught mankind how to make weapons. And it never really dawned on me, but look at it, Michael and them got weapons. That's where he got the art from. So evidently, somewhere in heaven they're making weapons. Michael got a sword. Who made that? So then, like you said, those 200 angels came. They wasn't supposed to bring that technology to the earth. Azazel brought it to the earth, but they making weapons in heaven. Go to Ezekiel chapter 9 when it says that these six angels came and landed themselves around that brazen altar. 5 of them had their favorite weapon in their hand, and the other one had a writer's horn. So where they getting these weapons? Who made these weapons? Come on.
Us back from our true potential in this life. As important as Archangel Michael is, it comes as no surprise that he has a special celebration. That's St. Michael's feast day on September 29th. Number 2, Archangel Gabriel. Known for delivering messages from God to humans, including the announcement of the births of John the Baptist and Jesus in the New Testament. The angel Gabriel is the herald of visions. He makes God's message understandable to people and helps them to accept it with a
So like I was saying before, like I just said about how these people operate, they want to try to patronize Ibrahim Tory to get him to let them come in to their country, and they want to assess it. So the same way right here, they got hotel records, saw the characteristics and the roles of these angels, and then they took those characteristics and roles and incorporated them into the New Testament. Huh? This is who they are.
Or heart. Daniel's book says that the angel Gabriel looks like a man. In Christian pictures.
So in so many words, what they did was they took the roles of these angels. Now they didn't put them in the roles of Christians. The Christians don't have shit to do with us. So they took all these roles and bypassed the Old Testament. So now they got them operating in Christianity these are Christian roles. So for example, Gabriel and all his glory. Now, for as you're dealing with a Christian, he's associated with announcing JC coming. The eternal being that's been here from the beginning all the way up until now, but all of a sudden now he's recognized for announcing JC birth. Damn, all the stuff happened before that. That's what he's known for. Okay, let that for a minute.
$42 years old now, but the last 10 years have been getting paid $10,000, $15,000, or $25,000 for.
Okay.
Invoked in prayer, Salafiel is often seen as the patron of prayer and worship, guiding humans in communication with God. Salafiel assists people in praying, helping them focus and ignore distractions. He encourages them to open up to God, sharing their thoughts and emotions, and to listen closely for God's answers. In the book of Genesis, it tells how Salafiel appeared to a slave named Hagar. She and her son were hungry and thirsty in the desert after being sent away from home. Salafiel came to her because she prayed intensely for help. The archangel told her that the Lord had heard her prayers. Salafiel is often shown in 2 different ways. In Orthodox Church, he looks downward with his hands crossed over his chest, showing humility and and focus.
Yeah,
people can gain intellectual understanding, find solutions to problems, and become more creative. The answer might come as a new idea. He brings God's truth, lighting up people's minds like a light.
Yeah, here you go.
As an angel of fire,
this is what I want to say. Like, I was talking about the spirit that's in these giants, right? When that giant died, it became an evil spirit. And it says that, it tells us that in the book of Enoch, that these became wicked spirits and they tormented mankind, coerced them, persuaded them in all different type of ways. And what they've done with us, when these Europeans, these Edomites came on the scene, they got us thinking they didn't incorporate that. When it comes to psychology, that they've incorporated into our mind and saying that these things are in our mind. A lot of the things that come to our mind, but it's a lot of stuff that's coming in your mind. These wicked ass spirits is bringing. Here go the example right here. Check it out. Listen what it says.
Knowledge with people. In Judeo-Christian writings, he's called the Archangel of Salvation. By praying to him, people can gain intellectual understanding, find solutions to problems, and become more creative.
See that?
The answer might come as a new idea. See? He brings God's truth.
So they bring these ideas. They bring these ideas, suggestions, all that. That's what these angels do that. So these wicked ass spirits can do the same thing. It's not a part of you. It's operating out, they manipulating you. So in darkness, in ignorance is how they thrive. When you come into the knowledge, the Creator bring you to a certain place where you start to receive knowledge and awaken to the things that's you've been in the dark on. That's when all hell break loose around you. You have to understand that a lot of the stuff that's going on around you is because of where you at. You've been placed in a place where knowledge is coming forward, understanding. And so all hell gonna break loose. Okay? And the purpose of that is to get you to panic when there's no need to panic. But like I wanted to show you this how they operate. So they ain't get it, it ain't just come from out the blue. These angels, righteous angels have the same abilities. And all they doing is they at one time they was righteous. They no longer righteous, but they still possess these characteristics. Okay. So, with that being said, anybody got any comments, questions?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, as I've been listening to him, the key word that he was actually putting out was Christian. So when someone hears that as a Christian, Gabriel, he protected the Christian. So now that word Christian is affected by everyone who was, in the New Testament. So being that they have said that word so religiously that people would gravitate to that word. You can put it with anything else, and they feel, or one may feel, that they have to protect it because that's what they are, not knowing that that whole word is brought up for people to believe in JC, Christ-like, a Christian. So by having that authority to put Christian into everything they say, it backs them up, and it's like feeding some evil spirit that continues to grow and grow in people's mind that a Christian is the right thing. The angels are good. If you're a Christian, you get to say this or do that, or you get to write this, and they'll believe it. And people gravitate to that word. And that's something that, by me listening to it, he mentioned it so many times.
Right. That's where the joke come in at. Like I said, you got the main players on the scene right now is you got Gathering of Christ Church. They got Christ in the name of you got United IUIC, United in Christ, right? But listen to the conversation, the Israelites. But you're dealing with Christ, and then you say you separate from the Christian, right? But that's what a Christian is. He got Christ in it. That's what the joke come in at. That's what I'm saying. That's what the joke come in at. You didn't separate yourself from the ideologies of Christianity, but you dealing with a being. His name Christ. That's where you get the word Christian from. You know, let that front mate. That's crazy. Okay, you ain't separated yourself. You're still dealing with the same ideology. You just got robes and shit on, but you still dealing with an idol. Okay, yeah. So I see this little thing right here. I'm gonna deal with it right quick. I think I shine a light on it. So it says, "What are Arabs?" So when you want to understand what Arabs are, Abraham after Sarah died, Abraham got another wife, a Keturah, right? Keturah had 6 sons. And then, so when Abraham had received, the Lord gave him Isaac. Isaac was his firstborn. Isaac was a promised seed. So when it's time for Abraham to pass away, all his sons came to him, and he gave Isaac all that he owned. He was the inheritor. The rest of his sons, he gave gifts, sent them away. When he sent them away, they ended up in the Middle East. Those 6 boys, along with Esau, along with Ishmael, they intermingled. They came together, and they ended up forming a alliance all together. That's where the Arabs come from. Okay. So with that being said, somebody got something?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, sir. So are not all Arabs, all of them are Muslims, the Arabs, or they're just particular Arabs that are Muslims? Or
Well,
are they Muslims?
they became Arabs first when they ended up when they left from Abraham's presence after he's passing away. They all intermingled together, and they became the Arabs. Then the religion, like I said, Christianity and Islam was created by Esau, the Vatican. So when you understand that, then that religion was imposed on them. They was already Arabs, and you go back and you understand that they created that religion, then it spread it. So that's how you get there. These are ideologies that these people they create them. They create these religions, and like I said, which is actually tied to the same process what they did with typology. They had our original scriptures, our original culture, and concepts, and they bounced off of it. That's why they call Abrahamic religions. But they are what they call add-ons to our original religion that these Edomites concocted. So, with that being said, we're gonna pick a scripture, and then we'll read that scripture. Then we'll break it down, talk about it, and we'll close out. Anybody got a scripture you want to shine a light on?
Shalom. Yes, sir. I have, I think Hosea chapter 3, verses 4 and 5.
Okay, what's it say?
For the children of Israel shall abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without teraphim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God, and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days. And that's Hosea 3, verses 4 and 5. Shalom.
Right. So like I said before, that's where we at. That's when you start talking about the Sabbath day, things that we supposed to be doing, and things that we can't do because of our situation. The Sabbath day is the eternal law that was given to us. We started way back in Genesis, so we can keep that. We can do that, but you can't make no sacrifices when we don't have sacrificial animals. He deliberately took them away. So it's things that we can do when you understand what's going on, and things that we can't do. You can't just jump up and start trying to do certain things when we disconnected from our land, disconnected from our God. We're not in a position to do a lot of things until the Lord does what He gonna do and bring us back. Then there's a lot of things we can do, but it's a lot of things we can do. Like, for example, the dietary laws. It's things that we can do, but and that's another thing. We can't go and like you said, people that's got familiar spirit in them, like same sex stuff, right? You can't. Our law says to stone, but you can't do that because of the predicament that we in. So it's things that we can do, and it's things that we can't do. So that's how that works. And like I said, it goes back to these people that made these pretty much churches. To me, that's what they are, churches, because they still dealing with Christ, but they're trying to force the hand of the Lord by having these feast days and all that. When we're in a predicament, we're not in a predicament to have no feast days. There's so much missing that we don't have. Like I said, how you gonna have a feast day and you don't have the animals? You deliberately took animals away, like you just read. There's gonna come a time when He's gonna return all that. Then we'll be able to do all that. But as of right now, because of our transgressions, He took all that away from us. Matter of fact, I just read in Isaiah 60 how He's gonna bring it all back for us to pick it back up and to renew it. Okay, so with that being said, nobody else have anything, we're gonna close out right here. When we say shalom, and another shalom. I see everybody this evening for our evening Shabbat class, and hopefully we have some more information on what transpired with Venezuela. Shalom, and another shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it, because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up, and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is.